Sonny Duke Okosun. Of course, I'm not alone on the program for today. I've got my colleague here with me, Philip Omor Gukmo. Philip, many thanks for joining me on the program.
Thank you. A very good morning to all the viewers out there.
Okay, well, great day. I mean, we've been talking about this in the last 1 week after the postponement. We recall that it was supposed to be a week ago, but finally we're here. And as part of our plans for today, we'll be bringing you live reports from across the country. And then, of course, we also have our team of reporters across the 18 local government areas of Edo State, where we'll be bringing you live feeds. And we've also created structures just to ensure that you're able to contribute to the program live. We have our WhatsApp number where you can send pictures and messages to only, and that's 0803 8726 So, Philip, what are expectations today?
Well, it's a great day for Nigerians, and as Nigeria decides, we're looking at the voting population, which is about 84,004,084 voting population. But from that, we've seen reports where the INEC leadership said that over 72 million PVCs have been distributed. So it means it represents about 86% of the voting population that already have the PVC. So I expect that they come out en masse and vote. And also the statement credited to the president, where he said that he's going to deal, advising
decisively
the security agencies to deal ruthlessly with the election offenders and ballot box and snatchers. I think that is also a punchline, and it means everyone should act, should be disciplined enough to ensure that that issues doesn't arise, because I see the over 300 policemen. I see the 95% of the army that they said will be also in ensuring that this election holds sway. I see them as checking all of these offenses, and so the voters should be guarded.
Yeah, I think it's a warning signal that those who would want to foment trouble at voting centers should do a rethink to avoid untoward things happening to them. But I know the statement credited to Mr. President during that meeting was heavily criticized. And but INEC chairman came out to, restructure that statement. But that notwithstanding, we're looking forward to a great day today, because it's about our future. It's about the country, Nigeria, and it's about you and I. So as we always say, ensure you vote your mind and you vote your conscience, and avoid selling your vote to anyone. Of course, in the last day's daily broadcast of INEC yesterday, we heard the Acting Inspector General of Police also talking tough on the plans, the structures put in place to ensure that everything goes on smoothly. So we're looking forward to a great time out today.
We're looking at that, and also looking at the whole essence of the security agents not being partisan and be apolitical, because we're looking at all of this. There's a kind of call that this election should go in a way that security agents wouldn't interfere, because it's all about the voters.
It's all about the voters, it's all about Nigeria, it's all about the country. Philip will be here with me all through today. He will also be here tomorrow when we'll continue our live coverage of the 2019 election. Of course, our studio will also open as usual at 7 o'clock, and then we're expecting to join the Collation Center at about 6 p.m. tomorrow. That's what the INEC chairman said. But we'll take a pause now and bring on board our panelists for today. They're already here with us in the studio, and many more are coming to join us. Remember, we did say reporters are on the ground to bring you live feed from across the 18 local government areas of the state, and then we also have partner individuals who are also spread across the different parts of the country to bring us live feed. Our correspondents in our sister station in Abuja will also be contributing to the program this beautiful Saturday morning. Beautiful weather, I must say, and that shows that this is certainly a great day to behold, and we're hoping that you will do the needful. Ensure you leave your house early. If you have to trek, whatever sacrifice that you need to make to cast your vote, ensure you do exactly that. we're already casting our vote here.
Yeah.
By that I mean we may not be putting the thumb printing the ballot paper, but we're doing that in a sense because we're here to also fulfill our civic duties.
Of course, yes. Yes. Taking our bit on that, well, it's expected that everyone should put his or hands on deck.
Yeah.
And just as we're also expecting that the Nigeria Air Force, like it did say, will be keeping air surveillance on the general elections.
Yeah.
That's quite a huge development.
It is.
And also looking at the opportunities provided by the INEC leadership, where you have for the first time the visually impaired
have a sense of belonging
with the aid of the Braille.
Yeah,
so
I
that's
spoke
quite
with
awesome.
Barrister Musa a couple of days back, and he told me that he designed that system where they can actually, the physically challenged person, particularly visually impaired, can actually participate. We're already getting live feeds. This is from Olua Primary School. That's in Ward 7. As you can see, the place already is packed full, and you see the NYSC core members are on the ground. They are the ad hoc staff, saddled with the responsibility of actually conducting the election, part of their civic responsibility, part of serving their fatherland, as it were.
Yes, it's quite important they do so, because this is our future. Looking at what Nigeria entails, there's a time where we have to really come out en masse and really demonstrate the strength that we have.
Yeah.
And looking at what the president said in the broadcast, we have made it clear that, well, the local foreign observers, Nigerians, should have trust in the INEC leadership.
Well,
looking at the electoral umpire, that's quite laudable.
Yeah, they said they won't disappoint this time around.
Yes, and a lot of persons have seen the president's statement as not being sentimental along party lines, and as douse intention. So we just hope that political parties, the agents, the politicians, the candidates will act in accordance to that.
That's our expectations. That's our expectation, and it's quite high. And I believe your expectation is also quite high.
Yeah.
We'll take a short break, and then we'll be back with our panelists for our first segment of discussion on Nigeria Decides, live studios of independent television and radio. Once again, welcome on board. Thanks again for rejoining us on the live studios of independent television and radio Benin. Of course, it's Nigeria Decides live studio, and already we saw a live picture from Olua Primary School, Ward 7 in Ego local government area, sent in by Best Mbiri, giving us an insight into what's happening already in that unit. Of course, we'll be taking calls from Best much later on, but quickly, I'd like to bring up to speed our panelists in the studio already. Let me thank Professor Tony Ijewere for joining us. Prof, many thanks for coming on the program. He was with us last Saturday at the botched election. We thank you again for coming here.
It's a pleasure to be here.
We also have the ASU Chairman, UNIMEN, Professor Julius Iyasare. Prof, many thanks for joining us again.
Thank you for having me, and then good morning, great day, viewers.
Okay, we also have here Chief A.B. Thomas, is a legal practitioner, public affairs commentator. Chief, many thanks for joining us on the program.
Good morning, and thank you for having me here.
Okay, now the feed from Olua Primary School obviously shows the mood of Nigerians using Edo State as a case study of Edo people towards this election. Let's get talking. Let's get talking. Just yesterday was a report of the Court of Appeal clearing the way for Zamfara, ruling party, to contest this election. And I heard the INEC chairman saying that, well, they always have options, plan A, plan B, just in case this happens. What do you make of that latest development?
Well, I would say, much as I believe in rule of law, the judgment came a little bit too late. Luckily for the APC in Zamfara State, they are the ruling party, they are on ground. But you can imagine if it was a party that was not the ruling party coming to get judgment 24 hours to election. How will you campaign? How do you get your candidates, and how do you get even the list of your party agents for the polling units? It would have been very disastrous. Okay. So I think the Court of Appeal should take this as a very bitter lesson. There is no law that says a court in Nigeria cannot sit on Saturday. We should take this advantage. We are simply being lazy. Why not sit on Saturday? The law permits you to sit on Saturday, provided the counsel on both sides agree to come to court. You can sit on Saturdays, except Sundays and public holidays. So coming to give judgment 24 hours to election is a great distraction, and it's not a welcome development. Even the APC that has even got the judgment now, I don't expect them to be very happy, because you have to submit the names of your polling agents to INEC. Yeah. You have to do accreditation. All that will be done in a hurry, and you can't be too sure. It's a state that has many local government councils, so many wards. We should amend our electoral act to say judgments must stop at a particular time before elections.
Okay. Professor Julius Yasara, you want to share in that sentiment expressed?
Well, bookmakers say it's never too late. But unfortunately, you know, men are masters of their fate. I'm sure that the party themselves would have contributed to all of this. And so who can they blame? But just like Barrister Ibe has said, we should try to speed up, you know, our court. Let them take, you know, responsibility as demanded by the intensity of cases before them, so that we can have a good justice system. It's very, very unfortunate that just 24 hours to voting time is when you are proving that a party can feed in candidates. It's not on at all.
All right, Prof. Jewari, you want to comment on that as well?
I think, like what Barrister Zekome said, maybe we have a lawyer here. He said that the court judgment, appeal court judgment, does not mean that they should feed candidates. That in future, maybe after the election, they can be challenged in court. So that aside, but you see, I don't think the APC that is involved, I don't think they don't need any form of celebration, because the truth of the matter is that we had two factions, we had two different factions fighting themselves, and so if the party is not organized in that state, and they now have to pay the price of being denied of featuring candidates, then they don't deserve sympathy. It means the law has taken its course, and the law is warning that subsequently they must put their house in order before they can come out for credible election. So I think it's in order, but the period within which this election was, they got the court judgment. It's not the best, but at the same time, they have to pay the price of not being organized.
Okay, today it's a day with huge expectation. Let's talk about expectation. I mean, from the postponement and then rescheduling, a lot has happened within this past 1 week. We've heard broadcasts from the president, some of the key things that he said. We saw INEC having a daily media briefing or stakeholders meeting to update Nigerians on their plans and preparations. Are you satisfied so far, Barrister Ibe Thomas?
From official perspective, They were busy. They were busy. The president spoke. For those who listened, fine. I didn't listen. There was no need for me to listen. I read most of what he said in the papers. I think the one that was highly highlighted was the shoot at sight order.
Did he specifically say shoot at sight?
That anybody who decides to hijack ballot buses.
Yes. That may be the last
time of his doing it in
yes.
his life.
Yes.
It means very simple English. It means you will not be alive to tell the story. That's shoot at sight.
Yes.
You won't be alive to tell the story. And that is, in law, extrajudicial killing. You see, when we are talking, we should be careful not to give overzealous security officers unintended rights. There is a subsisting Court of Appeal judgment that forbids the federal government from using the military anywhere you have election within 3 kilometers radius. That is rule of law. You simply have to comply with it. It's rule of law. What are you doing? In fact, you can't even go with arms into anywhere you have a voting center. It's forbidden.
Yeah.
So if you are not going to shoot, from where are you shooting? Is it from the street you will shoot, or with the police who wants to hijack ballot buses? We don't go to the street to hijack ballot buses. It will be at the voting center. So it means we are going to introduce the military into voting centers. That is a common sense in all this. But today, like you said, is very important. I don't see this as election.
What do you see it as?
A referendum. Nigerians, besides the 1993 election between NRC and SDP, I think this is going to be the most interesting referendum. Nigerians are being called upon to come and decide their future. Do you want a continuity of what we are experiencing for the past 4 years? They are just 2 simple questions. Do you want a continuity into the next level of what we have been experiencing in the past 4 years? Or do you want a radical change from what we have been experiencing in the past 4 years? In other words, do you want to continue in poverty? Or do you want...
I want us to just try and stay on course.
Yes, that's what I'm doing.
You have made the 2 distinctions.
Yes.
Yes. I want us
continuity or a radical change.
Yeah.
So by the time Nigerians are asked to go, they are only casting their ballot paper to decide a referendum as to what should happen in Nigeria in the next 4 years. Okay. There is nothing like a re-election. You see, unfortunately, human beings are contesting. That is the unfortunate part of it. Okay. But in actual fact, people are going to cast their votes to decide whether I am happy the way I am or I want a radical change.
Okay, let me pursue there, Barrister David Thomas. Prof, what are your thoughts on the level of mobilization on the part of the people for today's rescheduled election?
Yeah, just to put on record that it's a great road to travel. 23rd of 2019 goes down to the annals of history, this country. The truth, just to answer your question, I'm sure that people are fully mobilized is only the slight demobilization of last Saturday, because I know of certain persons who couldn't return back to base where they were expected to cast their votes last Saturday for want of funds to be able to travel and all that. But however, the people know the import of this election. Churches have come out very boldly, the mosque also. So at various points of mobilization, the citizens of this country have been thoroughly rich about this election. You can't even tell a blind man now that he doesn't know that the elections are holding, or even the death. People are aware. You come out, your environment will even show. Like I observed the last Saturday, even the elements from God gave an approval. I have not gone out today now. It's very likely you see, because it appeared Harmattan came out last Saturday. The entire atmosphere in Nigeria were all hazy. So, you know, approving that something different was happening. So, I expect very large turnout, except for the threat of death, because it was
to
not
those who may have ulterior motives.
Yes, it was not good.
Yes,
that the #1 citizen of a country is threatening her citizens.
But that threat wasn't for everybody.
Yeah, no,
it was
no.
specific.
No, yes,
but
what that, you know, is, yes. Excuse me. You
Have
know,
you ever heard of stray bullets?
You know, yes. Now, so
yeah.
The meaning of that is that, you know, you don't know what will happen, what you will meet on the field, and so some persons will say, I won't go there if those things are likely to happen. So if not for that and all that, but people are fully mobilized. But however, I'm sure that the president in his broadcast also tried to, you know, make up for that very statement. And so he had urged Nigerians to come out and know that Nigerians are well mobilized and they are ready for today's game.
Okay. Professor Jewere, it's still on the point of level of mobilization, level of awareness, level of conscientization, and the willingness to participate amongst Nigerians. What's your take?
Yes, I want to look at the level of mobilization from two main perspectives. From the side of government, they have tried to do something by telling the transport associations to reduce the price of their transport charge. And of course, the oil people, you know, is in Upeng or Pegas, they also...
Ipman.
Yes,
Ipman, yeah.
Ipman, yes, they also...
Reduce the pump price.
Yeah, pump price from 145 to 140 naira a liter. And the parties themselves, they've also done a lot to tell people, you know, their supporters, that they should not, they should be brave enough, they should try as much as possible to go to the various polling stations and cast their votes. Then we're looking at I want to a little bit deviate from the statement made by the president, saying that those ballot snatchers should be dealt with and all that. You see, from one perspective, I would say it has a point, though outside the law, you know, because over the years, these ballot box snatchers, they've been having their way. You know, they come in commando style, carry ballot boxes, shoot into the air, and they normally have their way. So if this time around, government is now saying, hey, if you try it, you know, you will pay the price. You know, I think to some extent we deter such individuals, you know, to perform such ugly operation. But you know, like the general criticism, the president should give that order, you know, it means individuals may take undue advantage of it and cause a problem. If party A or party B may take undue advantage of it and say, look, just deal with the opposition, the moment you see any funny thing. They can even form a situation, stage a situation as if they are snatching ballot, and the next thing they can cause, problem. We are aware of what Wike said recently, yesterday, that the military was following him while he was going home or going to his office. So I think by the time we start involving military in our political system, then there's a problem, because the law is very clear on it that the military should have no business with election. So I just think the government will consider that and ensure that our election is purely civil, and if there's any security apparatus that have to be there, it has to be police and other civil defense and other security agency that are not as that will protect the interest of those who have come to vote.
All right, we have one of our reporters on the ground covering this election. We've got Thomas Sado live. Thomas, many thanks for joining us on Nigeria Decide Live Studio.
For me, I greet you so much, and I have been to some places this morning.
Okay.
I was at a Grove primary school along Benin Lagos Road in Ogan North local government area. I saw that they are ready, everything is up. But one promising is that the cubicle to vote, the booths, they are all outside, 3 of them are outside. So I don't know how they are going to protect the voters from selling their vote at this point, because everything is outside. I went to UBT. After this time now, officials are not there. Nothing is there in UBT. And to say that Mr. President has voted and some other persons have voted, people are still waiting at UBT. No INEC officials there. I was in, what is it called now, at Asden Law Primary School. Things are happening there. Almost everybody is safe. As I'm talking to you now, I'm in Iyoba Secondary School along Benin Technical College Road. The INEC officials are here. People are in groups discussing about the election. If there's anything funny, I'll let you know. If there's anything worth reporting, I'll let you know. I just have to let you know what's happening now.
All right, thank you, Thomas. Just to drive a point that you raised, that at one of the centers you visited, the polling booths, they are exposed, which in your opinion is exposing the voter and could also make them be prone to manipulation. That's the point you wanted to stress.
That is the point, and that is happening now at Owina Primary School.
Okay, did you see any security agent in that primary school, in that voting center?
What I saw is that the INEC officials are there. They are trying to accredit some persons.
Okay.
And Senate officials, I can't recall seeing any security persons. Even if I have been driving, I've been good, and I have not seen any security persons on the roads. The road is empty. The vehicles are few and far in between.
Okay. Thank you. We'll keep
UBTH, there's no INEC official on the ground at all.
Okay. Okay. Thank you, Thomas Sado. We'll keep tabs with you. Thomas Sado giving us a breakdown of what's happening in some of the centers visited already. We told you a while ago that we're going to be taking much of this in the course of the program.